Week 1 FNCS Finals happened this weekend. The top 5 teams qualify for Grand Finals. Let's look at how this tournament played out. Game 1. Game 1 starts and Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage go down early. Janice and Vortex also die off spawn in Greasy. The first zone pulls to the northwest and the second zone pulls towards Bugle. Going into the endgame, many teams start to make their rotates. Tayson and Chapix launch pad first moving and find a kill onto Max Street. Meanwhile, iDrop and Jerky start to make plays towards high ground. iDrop and Jerky establish themselves on height before Chapix and Tayson take height from them. Going down to the low ground, we have teams like Mustache and Malibuca who are finding many kills and establishing themselves in this endgame. And you also have teams like Rolls and Shizo who are claiming the other power layer, low ground. Going into the final moving zone, we have Tayson and Chapix on height, Shizo and Grolls on low, and Krusty in the zone, as well as Malibuca and Mustache playing the mid ground. Krusty and Shizo go down and it's Chapix and Tayson in a 2v2 versus Mustache and Malibuca. Mustache and Chapix trade and Malibuca clutches out the game with only 9 white HP. After game 1, Mustache and Malibuca were in first and Tayson and Chapix were in second, with Darker and Sikwa in third, and the leaderboard was very tight in the top 5. Game 2. Game 2 starts and Benji and Savage lose their off spawn fight again out of Tilted, but more importantly, our game 1 winners Mustache and Malibuca also die off spawn in Command Cavern, resulting in them getting 0 points. Boy, will this shake up the leaderboards. Going into the endgame, DKS and Bad Sniper hold height on first moving and only have a few problems with Lusha and Nefrizzi spraying them, but the real issue started for them when Nako and Dan started to pressure them on height, but let's take a look at what the rest of the lobby is doing. Krusty and Relvis as well as Kefi and Melody car rotate first moving and find a few kills while Snazy dies early, leaving Podesai to solo clutch. Let's go back to height. As Nako and Dan are fighting DKS and Bad Sniper, Tayson and Chapix sprint up to height and claim it while these teams were busy fighting. Krusty and Relvis find more kills and claim low ground while Podesai is solo clutching out of his mind. Podesai eventually goes down with most of the rest of the lobby and it's a 2v1 at the end of the game. But wait, where's the solo? Well, the solo is actually Vontrex, who is doing a heal-off strat in the zone, and in this game he barely didn't have enough heals, but he still put up a good fight, but in the end Chapix and Tayson won this game. After game 2, Tayson and Chapix jumped up to first place and Krusty and Relvis are in second. Grolls and Shizo are in third, and Mustache and Malibuca drop all the way down to 5th. Podesai and Snazy also jumped up 23 places into 8th from Podesai's solo clutch. Game 3. Game 3 starts and Mustache and Malibuca die off spawn again. This tournament is really going downhill for them. Benji and Savage finally win their off-spawn fight against Vico, and going into the mid-game, Queasy and Hen die early, making a qual in this tournament almost impossible for our previous FNCS champions. In endgame, Pink and Anas take height on first moving. Tayson and Chapix run through the first moving and find a kill on X-Squeeze before Benji places a wall through Tayson's cone to isolate a 1v1 onto Chapix. This is a super cool play. iDrop and Jerky take height at the start of second moving, but Pink and Anas show us that you never need to give up for height, even if it's been taken from you, and you can always go for it later in the game. Satan and Dark Kills, as well as Grolls and Shizo are playing the low ground masterfully, clearing out their layers. T-Chips and Art Skill also frag out the lobby, but in the end, Pink and Anas do the largest clearing, winning the game and pushing themselves up the leaderboard. After this game, Tayson and Chapix remain in first, and Grolls and Shizo jump up to second, while Mustache and Malibuca drop all the way down out of the top 10. This win also put Pink and Anas into the top 5. Game 4. In Game 4, Mustache and Malibuca die off spawn again, and so do Pink and Anas. Going into the endgame, Queasy and Hen have height on first moving. Down in the mid ground, Grolls dies early because he didn't cover his angles when looking for a fight, and Snazy finds a kill onto Hijo. iDrop and Jerky land onto the height and hold it. Down in the mid ground again, we see Krusty and Relvis tarp on the mid ground before Relvis dies to Tayson. Krusty continues to solo clutch and finds a kill onto Belusi. Hookah and Zestin are holding down the low ground in the final moving, and Raisin is able to kill Hookah but dies to Zestin. Zestin goes into the zone and out-heals everyone but iDrop and Jerky, who pick up the win in this game. After this game, Tayson and Chapix are still in first, while Snazy and Podesai are in second. With their win, Jerky and iDrop jumped up all the way to 6. Game 5. In Game 5, Chapix and Tayson die early, and Podesai and Snazy, as well as Pink and Anas, die in the mid-game. This leaves a huge opportunity for teams to jump up, including Malibuca and Mustache. Malibuca and Mustache pad first moving and then find huge kills onto Kovacs and Zrox in second moving. Mustache then kills Gripe and Joe, and this team finds themselves in a great spot. Many other teams are making big pushes towards the top though, like Raisin and Pain on height and Axforce and Maxtria on the mid ground, but this is Malibuca's game to dominate. Malibuca and Mustache take height in the final moving and dominate this game, getting a 12-kill victory royale. After this game, Malibuca and Mustache are in 5th, and Grolls and Cheese are in 1st, with Relvis and Krusty and Chapix and Tayson not far behind them. Podesai and Snazy are also in 4th, and Joe and Ziandy are in 6th, only 5 points behind on qualling. So let's get on to our final game. Game 6. Game 6 starts and disaster strikes for Podesai and Snazy, who die off spawn and can't get any points in their final game. This opens up the leaderboard to so many teams who can now qualify in this final game. Going into the endgame, Cookie and Leon take height at the very end of first moving. Tayson and Chapix try to pressure at this height at the beginning of second moving, but fail. Down on the mid ground though, Z, Andy, and Joe are thriving, finding a kill onto Naku and collecting many placement points. For Shizone girls, they died early in this game, dying to Nako and Dan, leaving them out of first place competition. Tayson and Chapix play the mid ground masterfully, finding a kill onto Loki, but this game was taken over by Mustache and Malibuca again. Mustache 1v2s Krusty and Relvis and then kills Cookie as well. This team also kills X-Squeeze and Andalix, and then Ziandi in order to create a 2v2. Mustache goes down early in this 2v2, but Malibuca doesn't care and takes precise angles and hits his shots to win the final 1v2 against Axe Force and Maxry. Malibuca and Mustache end up winning this tournament with their 14 kill victory royale, and I want to congratulate Chapix and Tayson, Krusty and Relvis, Grolls and Shizo, and Joe and Andy on qualifying to grand finals. I'm excited to see what you guys can do. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Peace.